Guys, today is Thursday, May 23rd. Today we're doing lesson 18, which we're focusing on rectangles and rhombuses. Tuesday we focused on trapezoids and the quadrilateral family. Yesterday we swapped over to parallelograms. Today we're going to identify two different types of parallelograms, rectangles and rhombuses. Before we even get started, please do me a favor and have our guest teacher pause the video. And you guys are going to do the warm-up problems. The guest teacher is going to pause the video, give you 3 minutes to do the warm-up problems, then hit play, and I will go over the warm-up videos the warm-up problems with you guys. All right, guest teacher, go ahead and click pause now and replay in 3 minutes. All right, guys, hopefully it's been about 3 minutes for you to work on these warm-up problems. Again, if you didn't get them all done, that's okay. We're going to go over these together here. So our first problem that we have is we have a conversion problem. We have 1 23/100 grams, and we're converting that to centigrams. Okay, so when we convert with the King Henry chart, let's just start off by writing down our King Henry chart on our paper. And we know that our saying for that is King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. Now remember, this is the metric system again, okay? So we need to start off with what our original unit is. And we know our original unit is grams. And we're going down to centigrams. So I'm here. I'm going to go down the steps 1, 2 to centa. I went down the steps 2 times. So if I go down the steps 2 times, I need to move that decimal place to the right 2 times as well. Move it down the stairs 2 times. 1, 2, and drop it off. Leave it right there. So 1 23/100 grams is equivalent or equal to 123, and you can do 0.0 if you want, centigrams. Okay? Again, if you need to pause the video, please just raise your hand and politely ask the guest teacher to pause it. Okay. Number 2, I'm at 1/2 divided by 2. Well, I know when I'm dividing fractions, the first thing I need to do, if I'm dealing with whole numbers, is I need to convert that whole number into a fraction. And I can do that by putting that whole number over top of 1. Okay? So now I have 1/2 divided by 2 over 1, technically. Same thing as 2. And when I divide fractions, when you want to divide, look on the right side, flip that fraction over, and then multiply. So I am going to have 1/2, or 1/2, flip that to 1/2 as well, change that divide sign to multiply. Okay? Now when I want to multiply fractions, I multiply across. 1 times 1 is going to get me 1. 2 times 2 is going to get me 4. Now the reason why I didn't do my x there was because I already knew that 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, they only can be reduced by 1. And if I do that, it doesn't change my numbers at all because it just becomes itself. Then it goes, or 1 goes into that number that many times. So I just kind of left that alone. So 1/2 times 1/2 is going to get me a product of 1/4. So again, I'm just going to do 1/4 right there. Because 1/2 divided by 2 is going to get me 1/4. If I have a half, that half of a candy bar, break it up into 2 spots, I'm going to have 1/4 of a piece. Okay? Now I'm going to do another conversion problem down here. Now this process, I'm going to use break up, change, get back together. Okay? So I'm going from yards to inches. Okay? Now I'm kind of going from yards down to feet, down to inches. So I'm skipping a couple of different units of measure there. So when I'm starting off with my conversion table that I have here, the first process is to break up that unit and that number. So I'm going to break up that 3 and that yard. So I'm going to put 3 right here, and that's going to break up with a yard. Haven't changed anything. I'm going to put 1 yard because it's technically the same thing. I'm going to just break those 2 up, 3 and a yard, 3 and a yard. Haven't done anything, just broke those 2 numbers up. Now I'm going to change I'm going to change. Now, my number doesn't change. My unit changes. And I need to change my unit into inches. Okay? So I'm just going to start by bringing down this 3. Now, I know there are 36 inches in 1 yard because I know there are 12 inches in a foot and there are 3 feet in a yard. So 12 times 3 is going to get me 36. So now I'm going to change my yard to 36 inches. My yard to 36 inches. Now I'm going to start the process of getting back together. So this process now is showing me that I need to do 3, and I need to multiply that by 36. Because now I want those two numbers to get back together. And I know that 3 times 36 is going to get me 108. And bring down that inches again. So 3 yards is equivalent to 108 inches, just like that. So that's our warm-up problem, or our 3 warm-up problems for you guys. All right, now I'm going to go down to concept development. I would like you to draw this out. If you need a moment, raise your hand, ask the guest teacher just to pause it. It's not the end of the world. I'm going to go through and explain this, what I have down here for you, a little bit of notes. I'm going to explain this while you're copying it down. So today we're focusing again on a rhombus and a rectangle. And I'm going to read you guys our I can statement one more time. Today you guys are going to be drawing rectangles and rhombuses and defining their characteristics. You're successful when you can draw a rectangle and a rhombus when given guidelines to follow. So as you're copying this down, I'm just going to show you for the rhombus on our template here, I used, where's our rhombus shape at? I'm looking at it backwards. I used this shape right here. This is my rhombus. And for my rectangle, I used my rectangle shape right here. So if you wanted to copy those down, feel free. So a rhombus, what is a rhombus? And what is a rectangle? Let's pop down here and look at our family tree for our polygon family. This is kind of sloppy. I ran out of room, so I apologize. We know what a polygon is. We know that a quadrilateral is any 4-sided polygon. We know that a quadrilateral has a trapezoid and a parallelogram as children, okay, if you think of that family tree. Yesterday we focused on a parallelogram and that it's any 4-sided shape with 2 pairs of parallel sides. With that being said, a rhombus and a rectangle are also parallelograms, but they're not the same as one another. They're different. So a rhombus and a rectangle are parallelograms because they follow the definition of what a parallelogram is, but they have a few differences that are a little more specific to their shape. So a rhombus is a parallelogram, and the important thing to know about a rhombus, though, is that all 4 sides are equal length. So this is an equal length, this is equal, this is equal, this is equal. I like to look at a rhombus as a square that's just been pushed over a little bit. But if you look, it is a parallelogram because its opposite sides are parallel. Okay? Its opposite sides are parallel. Now a rectangle is a parallelogram. Its sides are not all the same length, but it does have all 4 right angles. If you look, I have a right angle here, a right angle here. It's kind of hard to see, I'm sorry. Right angle here, and a right angle here. Again, it's a parallelogram because its opposite sides are parallel. But it's not a rhombus because its 4 sides are not the same length. But it does have 4 90-degree angles. Now a rectangle is not a square because it has different side lengths. So go ahead, take a few more minutes to write this down. If you need a few more seconds, just raise your hand and ask the guest teacher to pause it. I'm going to move on, though, to our next page right here. Now on this side, I have 2 different things that you guys are going to be working on. I have a rhombus and I have a rectangle. Up top here, it says draw a rhombus and label all that you know about it. What do you notice? And for a rectangle, draw a rectangle and label all that you notice about it. Get creative, okay? I want you to label everything you can about these shapes. Now I'm going to draw a rhombus and then I'm going to have you guys do the rectangle. I'm not going to do that example for you. The rhombus up here, I know that a rhombus has to have opposite sides parallel and all of its sides have to be the same length. So I'm going to start by drawing Using my centimeter side of my template, I'll zoom in a little bit here for you. I'm going to draw, I'm going to start at 0. I'm going to go over 4 centimeters. I'm going to offset that. I'm going to go down like this. Again, draw another line that's 4 centimeters. I'm going to start right here, draw another line that's 4 centimeters. And then this should be 4 if I connect it. Let me see. I gotta go up a little bit. There we go. That's 4. Connect right there. I'm going to label my points A, B, C, and D. Now I know this isn't perfect, but I just got creative, okay? I want you to go through. I want you to measure all of the angles of your rhombus. I want you to measure the side lengths. I want you to label parallel sides. Okay? And down here for a rectangle, you guys can get creative with that. I guess I will draw a rectangle for you guys. It will take me 2 seconds here. So I'm going to go 0, 3, down here, 0, 3, because I know a rectangle has to have right angles. So, but all 4 sides do not have to be the same length. And guys, you know that you're not drawing perfect shapes here, but you're trying. So if it's off by just a little bit, that's okay. Again, on this rectangle, I'm going to label my sides A, B, C, and D. And on this shape, I want you to measure your angles. It's angles, not angle. I want you to measure the side lengths. And I want you to label parallel sides. Okay, so I'm going to have the guest teacher pause the video and give you guys a few minutes to go ahead and draw your own rhombus, label these things about it, draw your own rectangle, and label these things about it. Be creative, okay? I want you to draw any kind of rhombus you want, any kind of rectangle you want, but you are not allowed to just copy off the template. I want you to try to draw some on your own, okay? When you're done, if you find out something interesting, you can share it with your partner sitting next to you, but this is an independent activity where you are sitting down and working at your desk, okay? Take a few minutes to use the definitions that I gave you. Again, you're drawing 2 shapes, measuring and labeling, okay? Sharing anything you find interesting. This should take you no more than 5 to 7 minutes, okay? This should take you to the end of the math lesson. If you guys have any questions, feel free to raise your hand and ask the guest teacher, and I will work with you guys on the rest of this next week. All right, guys, take care and enjoy the rest of your day.